Welcome to another segment of my mathematics videos as we continue to look at Algebra Part 2, Paper 1. So these are concepts that come in your Paper 1 ECZ Examination Council of Zambia exams. So like I promised that I would guide you on how to do factorization by, grouping terms. So in this case, when they tell you to factorize completely, but they have actually given you 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, you can actually factorize by using, grouping of terms. That is what you can do. Now this one is very easy. It is simply you group, the terms together, 2 of them together, then you simply factorize by common factors. For example, if we start with the solution there, the first one says that 4ab, plus 6ac minus 6bd minus 9cd. In most cases, you don't even need to struggle. As say in most cases, you just need to go directly. So group the terms in 2. So this one you have seen it as a negative. So I'll group even the negative, in parentheses or brackets as you call them. Then you can check out, factorize what is common in each of these brackets. So what is common in this bracket? You can see 2 can go into 4 and 2 can go into 6. So therefore, a 2 is common. What else is common? I can see A. So therefore, 2A is actually common. So because 2A is actually common, it simply means you open the bracket. Then remember what I told you in the previous video, you divide by what you factorize outside. So 2 there, 1, 2 into 4, I'll remain with a 2. The A and the A will cancel, therefore I'll remain with a B, plus 2 into 6 is a 3. That A and that A will cancel, therefore I'll remain with a C. So therefore it will be 3C. What is common this side? Please, if the sign that starts here, you need to bring it out. So there's a negative, so that negative I'll simply also bring it out. So it will be minus, so that negative bring it out. What is common? Well, 3 can go into 6 and 3 can go into 9. Therefore, I'll have a 3. What else is common? A DS is actually common. So what have I removed outside? I've actually removed negative 3D. Don't forget that negative 3D. So you're going to start dividing by negative 3D. What I do this side, I'll also do it the other side. Remember, negative and negative will give you a positive. 3 into 6 is a 2. And that D and that D will cancel. I'll remain with a B. Negative and negative will give you a positive. So 3 into 9 is a 3. Remember, this D and that D will cancel, so I'll remain with a C. So now what is important when you factorize at this stage, what is inside of the brackets should be the same. If they are not the same, then there's a problem. Then you need to go back and maybe rearrange your expression. So you can use grouping terms if they have given you 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, where you group them into 2's and actually factorize them. That is why you can factorize by grouping terms. So now at this point, we are going to group what is outside of the bracket, because what is inside the bracket is exactly the same. So only pick up one bracket. So therefore, grouping what is outside, I'm going to have 2A minus 3D open bracket. Then you pick up one of these brackets that because they are the same, so it will be 2B plus 3C. Then it simply means you would have factorized. Well, another person might have actually started with a bracket there, 2B plus 3C, and that is when the person would have grouped what is outside there, 2A minus 3D. There's actually nothing wrong. So either this or that, and that is actually correct. Grouping of terms when you have been given 4 terms. So that is the way you can go about that. I hope you are clear. Let's try to demonstrate a further example as I look at the B part there. The B part again says we factorize completely. Remember this concept, a concept that come in your mathematics paper 1 examination council of Zambia. So B there says that Km minus 6Ln plus 3Kn minus 2Lm. Yeah, in most cases, you are just going to be grouping them, but sometimes you are going to find that even when you group them, for example, when I group this, there's nothing that is actually common there. So you wonder, then what is there when you group that? So when you find such a case, you can simply rearrange them. You can rearrange them to pick up what is common. For example, I can simply km, because I've seen that this one also has a k, so I'll move it. So when you move it, you move together with a sign in front, which is a positive. So it will be plus 3kn. There, I've remained with minus 2lm. And this now, I can take it to the other side. It's not crossing the equal sign, I'm just moving it. So I'll move this and pair it with that. So it is going to be minus 6ln. Now, why have I moved this one? Well, when I notice, when I factorize here, I'll remain with m. M is beginning. So even that side, when you factorize, m should be at the beginning. No wonder I've not started with this one, but I've started with the one having m, and I've ended with the one having n. Remember, you started with at least m and n, so that is exactly what I've done. So what's the step now? When you rearrange them, it simply means that now you can simply group them into twos and factorize. So what is common there? K, yes, that's true. So K is common. So K is the only thing. So I'll divide K, I'll divide K. So when I divide K there, I'll remain with only M. When I divide K, K and K will cancel. I'll remain with 3N there. You remember what I said, if the sign that is there is a negative, so I'll pull out the negative first of all. What else is common? 2 is common. What else is common? L is also common. So negative 2AL is actually common, open bracket. So this negative 2AL, you are going to start dividing it there, negative 2AL. So when I divide negative and negative is positive. 2 into 2 is 1. L and L will cancel. I'll remain with M. Negative and negative is a positive. 2 into 6 is a 3. The L and the L will cancel, so therefore I'll remain with the N. So you can clearly see that what is in the bracket is exactly the same, meaning that you're doing the right thing. So you can group now what is outside. So what is outside? It is K minus 2L. Then you can pick up, one of the brackets, these, because they are the same. So it will be M plus 3N. So that's what we mean there. So it simply means you have actually factorized, completely. So that is basically how you can go about that. Now, obviously, we can look at further simplification and expansion. I told you that still falls under algebra. So let's look at how you can simplify and expand. So expansion in this case. So when they tell you to simplify, for example, simplify each of the following, we look at the solution. This is very simple in the question paper. You don't need to even start struggling. So when they tell you to simplify, they want you to expand and collect the like terms. Put the like terms together. So you need to pay attention with the like terms. So for example, they have actually given us 4 multiply open bracket x plus 2y minus 3x minus 8y. So sometimes in the exam, the examiner, they love to use a negative because they know as a student you will, at some point make, a mistake, and therefore you need to pay attention. So the first thing, you expand. If I told you, there's need for you to expand, and you collect the like terms. That's the way we simplify. So therefore this 4, because it is outside of the bracket, it simply means this number is multiplying by each of the terms inside of the parentheses. So 4 times x will give us 4x. 4 times positive 2y will give me positive 8y. Remember here, it seems as if you are just going to write minus 3x minus 8y. That is wrong when you write it like that. Remember, there's a 1 here outside of the bracket, so this negative should be multiplied by each of those. So negative times 3x will give you negative 3x. Negative times negative, the sign will change. You can see that it now becomes positive 8y. So if you don't multiply, the sign will not change, and what you'll be doing is going to be wrong. The next step, when you expand, you put like terms together. For example, this is 4x and that one is having x, so it will be 4x. I'll bring, when you're moving, there's no equal sign, the sign does not change, you maintain. It is simply negative 3x. That one here is simply a positive 8y, and that one is also a positive 8y. So what is 4x minus 3y? Remember, different signs you subtract and get the sign from the bigger one. So it will be just x. 8y plus 8y will give me 16y. Therefore, that simply means that's the answer they wanted. You have simplified. So that's simplification. You expand, then you collect the like terms until you reduce the expression to its lowest form, where x plus 16y, these are unlike terms, they cannot be added together. All right, let's try to move on to the B part there. The B part there, says that, 4x squared plus 2y squared minus xy minus 16x squared plus 2xy. You can see again, there's no need of you expanding because there are no brackets that are there. Therefore, you just collect the like terms in this one. So if I look at this one, 4x squared, so I need to look at another one having an x squared. There's that one there. So it will be 4x squared. I'll get that one minus 6x squared because both of them are having a square, x squared, x squared. So those are like terms. What about this one? Does it have any like terms? Plus 2y squared. Is there anything that looks like that? No, there are no like terms. So I'll just write it like that. What about this one? Minus xy, yes, it has 2xy. Remember here, it's like there's a 1, so it will be plus 2xy. So we can reduce that. 4x squared minus 6x squared will give me negative 2x squared. That one has got plus no like term, so I'll just be writing it like that. 2y squared negative xy plus 2xy will give us a positive xy. Remember, different signs, you subtract and get the sign from the bigger number. So this and that, don't be tempted, they cannot be added. This is 2x squared and this is 2y squared. These are unlike terms, they cannot be added. So this is how far I can go, and that means I've actually simplified the expression there. All right, so that's what we mean. Let's move on to C. C there says that the C part there says that 4 minus 2 open bracket b minus a minus 1. You see that? Yes, so there's a negative. So because there are brackets there, we need to expand. So it will be 4. This, please take the sign together in front. It's negative 2, not just 2. Don't say 2 times b, 2b, 2 times negative. That's wrong. Take even the sign in front. So negative 2 times b will give you negative 2b. Negative 2 times negative a, the sign changes to positive 2a. Here you have a minus 1. Now at this point, when you expand, you can now collect the like term. So I can see a number and a number, so it's like 4 minus 1. This one does not have another term. That one is also alone. So 4 minus 1 will be 3 minus 2b plus 2a. So this is what we mean. This is the last expression. Remember, the order in which you can arrange them is okay. Others would want to maybe follow alphabetical. It's also okay. 2a minus 2b plus 3. That's okay as well, but that is not important in the exam. You have simplified the expression there. Right, let's move on to the D part there. Let's move on to the D part. So according to D there says that 3x minus y, that's open bracket, y minus 2x minus 3y. So you can see what we're having there. It seems, because they're bracket, it simply means you need to expand. So that negative is multiplying by that negative y times negative times y will give us negative y. Negative times negative 2x will give us positive 2x. There you have a minus 3y. Then collect the like terms. So this and that are like terms. So 3x plus 2x. That one negative y minus 3y. What is 3x plus 2x? That is 5x. Same signs you add and just get the sign. So it will be negative 4y. This is how far you can go. Remember, these are unlike terms, you can't add them. So we have simplified that expression. Okay, so that is what you can do when it comes to that. Right, let's move on to the E part. Let's move on to the E part. It says 2a minus 7b minus 2a minus 3b there. So there's a bracket there. We need to expand that. So it will be 2a minus 7b negative. Remember, take even the sign in front. Negative 2 times a, negative 2a. Negative 2 times negative 3b, positive 6b. Then we can collect the like terms. This and that are like terms. So it will be 2a minus 2a. There you have a minus 7b. There you have a positive 6b. 2a minus 2a, it's like I'm telling you 2 minus 2. This definitely will cancel out. Negative 7b plus 6b will just give me negative b. So it simply means you have simplified that expression. Let's go to our last simplification there. So what is required is for you to practice, do a lot of practice questions, then you'll be able to see, such algebraic expression are very easy to simplify. All right, so let's look at our last simplification. 3 times that will give us a 3a. 3 times that is a 15. Negative a times a. Remember, a times a, that will give you a squared and not 2a. So there's a difference when you say a times a and when you say a plus a. A times a, it is raised to the power 2. The a, because they are the same, you raise them to the power 2. When you are adding, that gives you 2a. So take note of this difference that is there. Don't just, be guessing. So take note of the difference that is there. All right, so negative a times negative 2 will give you a positive 2a. From there, we can collect the like terms. This one and that one are like terms. Don't say this one is a square, so they are not like terms. So it will be 3a plus 2a plus 15 minus a squared. So that will give us 5a minus 15 minus a squared. So basically, this is what we mean. We have actually simplified that. But let's try to look at the question that says there, question 2, expand and simplify. So they want us to expand and simplify. That is question number 2. Now, when they tell you expand and simplify, we have been doing expansion, but notice we have x plus 3 raised to the power 2. So what does that mean? In layman's language, it simply means c plus 3, you multiply again by c plus 3. That's what it simply means. So you can use one bracket to distribute over the other one. So you can use the distributive rule. So for example, I'll get this bracket and distribute it. So it will be c multiplied by the second bracket. Let me use a different, colored piece. So I'll try just to make it and say c plus 3. So I'll use this to distribute them over that. So c plus 3. Again, I'll get this. What sign does it have? It's a positive 3. So that positive 3 now will be again distributed over c plus 3. That's what you can do. Then we can expand and collect the like term. So c times c will give you c squared. That's what we mean. Then c times 3 will give you plus 3c. Then positive 3 times c will give you plus 3c. Positive 3 times positive 3 will give you plus 9. Remember, these are like terms, so it will be c squared plus 6c plus 9. It simply means we have expanded and simplified it. So we have expanded, but we have also simplified it. So that's what the question was simply telling you. Of course, you can do also a quick one when you're expanding such a term. Let me give you just an idea. For example, if you have a term, before I come to this one, if you have a term a plus b raised to the power 2 and you want to expand, a quicker way of doing that, you get the first term, you raise it to the power 2, plus the sign there, then to get the middle term, you get that 2, you multiply it by that a, you multiply by that b. That's what we mean. That's the middle term. Plus the last term, you also get, if it whatever sign it has, you get it and you raise it to the power 2. So it is a squared plus 2 times a times b will give me 2ab, then plus b squared. Then I've actually expanded. I was using one with a positive. Let's try to see one having a negative. I'll use a different expression. I'll say x minus y, or it's okay, I can maintain a minus b but raised to the power 2. How do I do that? So it will be the first term, you raise it to the power 2. Then, if you want, you can get plus. You get the second, to get this middle term, you get that 2 multiplied by a multiplied by this negative b there. Then plus again, you get the last term, which is negative b, and raise it to the power 2. So it will be a squared, plus 2 times a times b will give me negative 2ab plus negative b squared will be a positive b. Remember, positive and negative will give you a negative. So it will be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So it's a simple way of trying to expand if you are in the exam. So let's try to see if we are able to come up with the same one for this one. It was c plus 3 raised to the power 2. So the first term, you square it, plus to get the middle term, it is 2 times that c times that 3, plus you get the last term, which is 3, and you raise it to the power 2. So it is c squared plus this times that, that's 2c times 3, that is 6c plus 3 squared is a 9. And you remember, this is what we got from our previous one. Thank you for watching. Watch out for more of my videos. Please, you can subscribe so that you can be receiving notification when I release a new video. So watch out for my next one as we look at a factorization using the product sum factor using trinomials.